Whenever a Goofy movie is brought up in conversation, people usually don't know about it or are quick to dismiss it. It was a decent hit at the box office, but it was released to mixed critical reception. What do I think? I think it's a wonderfully artistic, funny, and musical motion picture that's worthy to be considered a Disney classic. And that's more than nostalgia talking. So let's take a look at a Goofy movie. First, a little history. A Goofy movie serves as a sequel of sorts to the popular Disney TV show Goof Troop. I've never seen the show, and from what I understand, the movie borrows only a little from it. A Goofy movie was released in 1995, the same year as Toy Story and Pocahontas. Yikes, no wonder no one seems to remember it. So what's it about? Max Goof is now a socially awkward teenager, just finishing his freshman year in high school. He hates the fact that he's starting to take after his father, Goofy, meaning he can be a klutz and is even starting to develop his trademark laugh. All Max wants is to stand out and be noticed by the girl of his dreams, Roxanne. But when he finally gets her attention, Goofy decides to take him on a cross-country trip to go fishing, for fear that Max might be falling in with the wrong crowd. When about to leave on the trip, Max tells Roxanne an audacious lie, that he is going to be on stage with Powerline, the biggest rock star on the planet, for the final number of his LA concert. Will Max get to the concert? Will Max and Goofy find a common ground? Well, it is a Disney movie. First off, the animation in this movie is fantastic. It's vibrant and colorful, zany and humorous. There's stuff going on in the foreground, stuff going on in the background. It's just very busy. It's just a very unique, artistically beautiful environment. Big kudos to the animation team. Max is voiced by Jason Marsden, and he does an excellent job with it. What makes Max such a memorable character is that he's a typical teenager with typical problems. I know about teenagers because I am one. We can be cocky, we can be moody, we can be selfish, we can be rebellious, and most importantly, we can be embarrassed by our parents. Marsden seems like he knows all this and acknowledges it, giving Max a full and vast array of emotions, which makes him into a believable teenager, thus making his eventual gratitude towards his father all the more heartwarming. But I think the best character development goes to Goofy, not necessarily because of Bill Farmer's voice work, which is hilarious, but because of the way he's written. We get to see the sensitive father side of Goofy, and not just his antics, which I think makes him an even more lovable character, although we do get plenty of antics as well. You can truly feel that he wants nothing more than to just be a part of his son's life again. I think that's a problem a lot of parents face. I know plenty of people my age that flat out hate their parents, and it makes me wonder what it's like from the parents' standpoint. Although it is still Goofy, I can believe the kind of sadness he's feeling. There are also plenty of zany and hilarious side characters as well. Roxanne is cool, but she's actually not in a lot of the movie. I think the funniest side character has gotta be Bobby. Granted, he's that typical 90s kinda stoner friend that the main character has, but the voice talent of an uncredited Pauly Shore makes him so hilarious. I'm always busting at the seams during his scenes. The music in this movie is catchy, memorable, and just plain fantastic. The opening number, After Today, perfectly summarizes everyone's feelings on the last day of school. Take that, High School Musical 2. Nobody Else But You is a sweet father-son duet, and the Powerline songs Eye to Eye and Stand Out, both sung by Tevin Campbell, will always have you singing and dancing along. The scene where Max hijacks the school assembly to dance to Stand Out is always exciting, and really has you rooting for him to get Roxanne's attention. There are flaws, but it's really just nitpicking. For instance, Principal Mazer, voiced by the always entertaining Wallace Shaw, is a lunatic. No principal would ever tell a parent to do a better job before their child ends up in the electric chair. And I'm not exaggerating, that's literally what he says to Goofy after the assembly. And there are typical 90s and Disney cliches. Like, we all know that there would be no way to end up on stage with a famous rock star like Powerline. And even if you did, security would be called immediately. But man, is it cool to see it work out. Also, how long did Max think changing the map to get to California would work for? Goofy may be goofy, but he's not utterly stupid. The thing that stands out the most, though, for me at least, is the relationship between Max and Roxanne. I can sympathize with Max. I know what it's like to be the goofy kid, just wanting the attention of the girl I like. So this really truly feels like a high school romance. And I'm not the only one that thinks this, because I'm not the only one that was pissed that Roxanne wasn't in an extremely goofy movie, which was an otherwise pretty good sequel, even if it did turn Max against Goofy again. But whatever. Anyway, it's just so sweet to find out that Roxanne liked Max all along, and he didn't need to try and get her attention. This doesn't always happen in real life, but it's so refreshing to see Disney tell a more realistic romance than just wishing upon a star or one day my prince will come. Now, to be fair, I did grow up watching this movie a ton, but believe me, it's not just nostalgia talking. I dug out the old VHS tape I have of this and watched it again the other day, and it holds up very well. There are so many scenes that I love and will always remember. And isn't Disney all about nostalgia anyway? If it wasn't for nostalgia, there wouldn't be so many new generations that watch Snow White, or The Jungle Book, or even movies like Toy Story and A Bug's Life. That's why I think a Goofy movie stands out as more than just an animated 90s film. It is a Disney classic. Great animation, fantastic voice work, memorable characters, memorable scenes, catchy music, all leading up to an overall feel-good experience, which I will be surely sharing with the generations to come. I give it a perfect 5 trademark Goofy screams out of 5. That is my diagnosis.